And my downtown store, I'll probably get probably about I want to say about 25 devices spread out across the four models of the iPhone 16, the Plus, the Pro, and the Pro Max. But um,
I thought you were a
I,
Samsung guy.
I am. No, I'm just saying it's going to be like a money making weekend. Totally
Oh,
Samsung guy.
got you.
Yeah. Of course. You kidding me? Samsung Ultra. I got my Flip. I think I'd already told you Samsung picked me to be the Samsung Pro for my
Exactly.
store,
Yeah.
right? So I got the Flip 6 free. I got the Watch 7 for free. I got my Samsung Ring to monitor my heart and stuff. Kimmy's got her Samsung Fold. Totally all the way across. But all right. So here we go. And everybody, welcome to another episode here with myself, Rocky T, and the gardener for WrestleMagic here on the WWE podcast. I am excited that we were able to get together as soon as we did. Usually, our the time we get to hook up is usually spread out a little more because of life. But hey, I was awake early this morning. I decided I'm gonna message the gardener and see what he's growing, and luckily he answered. And here we are a few hours later. So we're just gonna go with it. Gardner, what's going on today?
Well, I'm doing the last harvest of my basil, and I've got a couple of Serranos and a couple of Carolina Reapers to pick. So I'm going to make the hottest salsa known to man. I'm probably going to use a vodka reduction, and if you like it, it's going to burn you. It's going to burn you, and but that's what I do. I'm a hot pepper kind of guy, but we haven't done like too many shows where it's just you and I. We did the last show. We need to do more because it's great. Like you and I have a chemistry and we understand each other. So I want to get into the nitty gritty of kind of just basically what's happening today in wrestling.
Well, we know we got Bad Blood coming up in a few weeks, but then a month after that, we're going to be straight into Survivor Series. And with War Games being now our theme of the pay-per-view for the last couple of years, that's going to be no different this year. I actually like the concept of War Games. I'm really glad that they brought it back. I do remember watching a few of the WCW matches, and then, of course, the ones that had when they brought it back, when Triple H brought it back to NXT. So I was very excited when they brought it to the main roster. I wonder how many years in a row we're going to get it. Luckily, we have had a few years of the Bloodline story going into the match itself, and this year's going to be no different. So we know that on one side, Solo, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu, and so far on the other side is just Roman. Very predictable and very. I guess we're assuming that everybody has the same idea. Usos going to be number 2 and 3 to be on Roman's team, but who's going to be number 4? Of course, Sami Zayn comes to mind right away.
Absolutely.
But there is a bigger, larger man of a name out there, and that is the man of Hikaloa. Now, a lot of people don't know Hikaloa. I didn't know him prior to maybe 2 years ago. I saw him in AEW, and then I know a bit about him in Japan. And I remember even when I brought him up on the mailbag, Matt had never even heard of the name. So that had surprised me. So there's going to be a lot of fans out there who are going to be wowed when they see this man because he is tall.
He's huge. He's huge, yeah. He has.
What do you know about him?
Well, he has a kind of a big man skill set. You're going to get what I would say a Sheamus plus. Okay. So you're going to get like the beatings, the tough guy, the big boots and stuff like that, but you're going to get more than that because it's a Samoan and that's what they do. They integrate everything. And there's still more Samoans out there. There's another one in NXT that is related to the Fatus. I can't remember his name. It's going to kill me because I'm on the spot, but he is in the developmental work. So there is going to be more. So
you're talking about Zilla?
Yes, Zilla. Yes.
Zilla Fatu is working the independent. He's showing up in Houston a lot with Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so apparently some of the dirt sheets have said that he is behind the scenes working in NXT off camera.
Okay.
So I would like to see, Hikaloa, what do you think they're going to call him?
You know what? I never thought about that. Let's guess. What about Hikatonga?
It could be that, but you got to look at, like, they let Tama Tonga and Tongaloa keep their names, and Jacob Fatu, which you couldn't change Jacob Fatu's name if you wanted to. So I could see it being a really amazing moment. But with the whole bloodline thing, where do we see Solo Sikoa going, Roman Reigns going? Because if we do have War Games coming up here in November, what is going to be the payoff? Is the payoff too early?
I never thought about it being too early. We know they're doing the slow burn. Roman hasn't really said a word since he came back too much, and him and Solo haven't had the one-on-one face-to-face. So they're definitely stringing it out. We got to get through Bad Blood, and there's the rumors of other returns. There's the rumor of Hikaloa being debuted at Bad Blood, but there's also the rumor of The Rock returning before Hikaloa debuts. So there's a lot of things going out there. I know me and you usually speculate stuff ourselves and talk about rumors off. We don't usually record about this stuff, but this is a very exciting time in WWE, and I think towards the end of this year, going into Rumble season, is going to be one of the times in history where we have more stories to use. That time in December, instead of being a downtime, going to be used more of a time to develop more going into the Rumble season, because with an introduction of a new show, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, there's going to be more hours and more TV time for wrestlers in general. So
Absolutely. Hikaloa could have as big of a debut as Jacob Fatu. And I think that people don't understand that Jacob Fatu is going to be big. He's going to be bigger than Solo Sikoa. I mean, basically, they built Solo Sikoa to be Jacob Fatu until they found out they could get him. But that's Triple H's regime. So when Triple H and his regime took over, they said, okay, this guy had a criminal past, but so did Booker T. And Booker, if you're listening, I'm just saying this, okay? So he became his own star in MLW and other independents, and as a monster. And he's in the best shape I've ever seen him in his life. So there's a lot to go along with this. I think there's going to be a lot more to go along with this than we think. So I want to see where the bloodline goes. We could stretch this storyline out for another year, and I'd be happy with it. So
1 year is not. I don't think. Yeah, a lot of people think, wow, another year of the bloodline story, but we're still gonna need another. Well, a year to get probably to the end of this one with the Roman and the Solo saga, but then we still got to get to the full babyface version of the bloodline. We still got a long way to go of the tribal chief. Real quick, to give some people some perspective of Hikaloa, if you never heard the name, you've never seen the man. Solo Sikoa is 6'2", which is above average. Hikaloa is 6'8".
Yeah, he's huge.
Yes, so he's pushing 7. He's gonna be a big boy. Big boy coming in. So let's see.
And so you got to remember that. So Roman Reigns has said that we may not all be related, but we're all from the island, so we are all family. So you would think that, Tamina Snuka would be in the family. You would think that there'd be a lot of other people in the family, but I love the fact. I mean, the family's huge. The Samoan family is ginormous, and I see like so much good stuff going forward as far as where they are with this storyline, because it is going to be a 5-on-5. Now, who's that fifth? People have speculated Brock Lesnar on Roman Reigns' side. People have speculated Punk. They've speculated Cody. I've heard
Sammy, but Sammy I think makes the most sense if you do the 5-on-5.
Well, it's 4-on-4 with Sammy, but you need a fifth if you have Hikaloa on the other side. So that's what I was saying, like, as far as trying to figure out who's going to be the next, person on the original bloodline. So it's or it could be Seth Rollins because they were part of the Shield. And that's like a perfect storyline right there.
That could definitely work. And adding a little bit to what you said about Tamina, and then Nia Jax, and then Naomi would be the other females that are either part of or married into the bloodline family tree.
Exactly.
So there's a lot out there they haven't introduced as far as being acknowledged that, I mean, we know they are, but just in storyline on TV, we haven't seen that yet. So they could still do a lot with this. And why would you not if it's your top selling merch? They're making as much money in merch as they are in a year's worth of salary, probably, at this point.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. So there was some big news that came out today. We're going to pivot real quick, and this is going to kind of go back to what we're talking about in a little bit. But Saturday night's main event is going to debut in December 14th, Saturday night. So pre-sale tickets are going to be going on here in September. But like we said, or like I had said, December is usually a down month. We're usually getting, a Raw review show, and people are taking time off with the family, but it's like people are going to be more at work now. So you got a new show going head to head with Collision and Saturday night's main event. Tell us something about it. You grew up watching it. I remember watching some highlights and videos, but never got to ever watch it live. It wasn't around my time. I remember watching a Saturday morning show.
Oh, Lord.
We used to drive 4 hours outside of Houston somewhere to a correctional facility to see my cousin, but at the time I was too young. So my tia and his wife would take turns to visit him, and I would make us go at that time where I could get to the diner where they showed it at 10 o'clock a.m. and make sure I was there eating and watching. Like, that was my stipulation for it going. We had to go at the same time every time we went. And we went like every other weekend at that time period. So I can't remember, for the heavens of me, I couldn't even research it. I don't know. I couldn't find it. But there was a Saturday morning. It was probably Superstars or something. But what do you tell us something about Saturday Night Live? I'm Saturday Night main event. Sorry.
Well, it's actually funny that you say Saturday Night Live. So we would get the TV guide, or every Sunday paper would come with a TV guide for the week, but it wasn't the TV guide. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we would look through it, and I would look for Saturday night's main event. And it would say it was listed, but it'd be Saturday Night Live instead. And it would make me so upset when I would wait up all night. And then I'm like, oh, great, it's Saturday Night Live, which is not bad. It's just the fact that it wasn't Saturday night's main event. So they gave you a pay-per-view quality show, compressed it into about, I want to say 2 hours. And it might have been an hour and a half, to be honest. It's been a long time. One of my favorites was Ultimate Warrior and the Road Warriors tagging against Demolition. And my father hated wrestling. So he was like, you guys got to go to bed, go to sleep. And so we went upstairs, we went to sleep. Then our mom came home and we lobbied for our mother, can you get us to watch this? And we missed that match. It was the one match we wanted to see, and we missed it. All we saw was the celebration of Warrior and the Road Warriors. And after that, now that we have YouTube, I've actually watched the match, and it was nothing to write home about. But Saturday night's main event was a big thing. And it garnered some big ratings, way bigger than any wrestling program's getting today. So we'll see what it does. And I'm kind of happy that it's coming back, and I kind of want to see what it's going to do. And maybe it helps. I don't know. What network is it going to be on? Do you know?
This is going to be on NBC, and it's going to simulcast with Peacock.
So, maybe it gives SNL people a break. Get a week off.
So this is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that means it'll be 7 p.m. my time here Pacific.
Oh, dear Lord.
So it's going to be before Saturday Night Live. It doesn't say here yet if it's going to be have the runtime. So I don't know if it's going to be an hour or two. I'd imagine to start with an hour, probably, right? What was it back in the day? An hour? 30
I
minutes?
swear it was like 2 hours.
Okay.
It was like
I mean, that would
an
be
hour and a half
good.
to 2 hours, and it was cool. It was like watching a pay-per-view. And some people want to call it a PLE. We still pay for it, guys. It's a pay-per-view. So brass tacks and baseball bats, when we get down to it, it was fun. It was a great reason when I was like 11, 12 years old to stay up and watch my little black and white television in 1986 in my bedroom. And it made me happy. And every time I would read that little TV guide that came out in the paper and it said Saturday night's main event, and then I'd stay up and it was Saturday Night Live, I was so upset.
Let me see. So, yeah, I know how you feel. Monday night, just for example, was the only night of the school night I was allowed to stay awake to watch Raw, that extra hour, right? Bed night was 9 p.m. But Monday night for me, for Little Rocky, was 10 p.m. So Saturday mornings, any extra wrestling I could watch was great. But Saturday night, so this is per the WWE page. So it just shows the start time, but also right here in the graphic, it says NBC Network Special. So I'm wondering if that's going to be, if they're going to start this as a one-time thing, see how the ratings go, and then continue it. So it doesn't say that it's going to be ongoing. So this is going to be our big thing right before the Christmas break. Let me look.
That's a tough call.
Yeah.
That's a tough call. I'm going to say that it's a special one time to see. It's going to be a little bit of a litmus test, and they're going to see where it goes from there.
Well, here's probably the reason. Survivor Series is November 30th, and then there's no. Whoa, this can't be right. This is okay. It says one more time, November 30th, Survivor Series, and then it says Royal Rumble is February 1st. So that means no pay-per-view for all of December, all of January, unless they're gonna come up with if they're gonna bring back day one. But so then this would be a mini pay-per-view 2 weeks after the Survivor Series, leading into the new year. And that's gonna be a long January.
Let's see what it has to offer. I mean, it could be like look at Bash in Berlin and look at like the CM Punk Drew McIntyre match. You could do something like that on NBC, and you could have like an epic match between people that really matter in wrestling right now. So I think that really just go for it. Let's see what happens. I mean, if it's a dud, it's a dud. We can't help that. If it's a bunch of like stupid, like, I hate to say it, but like the New Day versus like the Street Profits in a yelling contest and then a 5-minute match, I don't want to see that.
Oh, it's going to be in Long Island, New York, if that tells you anything about what kind of show they might put on based on the geography of the show. And I was looking back real quick at the pay-per-view schedule. So it won't be too long because we got the Bad Blood. Halloween Havoc is going to be October 27th. But then we have Crown Jewel the 2nd of November and Survivor Series the 30th. So that November, that Survivor Series is going to serve as your December pay-per-view. We'll have the main event in the middle, and then it'll be a month and a half until the Rumble.
Gotcha.
So, because we're having a late WrestleMania next year too, aren't we?
I think you're right, actually, yeah.
April 19th and 20th. Yep. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so they're pushing everything. April, May. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's go over this real quick. So per yardbarker.com, here are some of the what they felt as some of the most memorable matches in main event Saturday night main events history. Number 5 would be Shawn Michaels wins the Intercontinental Championship from the British Bulldog, 1992. Number 4, Hulk Hogan suplexes the Big Boss Man from the top of the steel cage.
Yeah.
I just watched that. I never knew that happened. I just watched that
Yeah.
before we started recording. That was cool. Mr. Perfect destroys the WWE Championship in '89 in his feud with Hogan. And then the number one list thing on the list here, the formation of the Mega Powers. Seems like it.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, so that started up on in '87. So there you go. So there's that. So hopefully, I mean, the graphics got Cody right in the middle. You got Roman and Liv on the left side, and Bianca Belair and Seth Rollins on the right side. And this is on WWE.com. So this is per their page. That's what the graphic looks like.
So Seth's coming back. Like the big money in Saturday night's main event, if they do this right, it's going to be Seth and Punk. Drew should be done with him by then. Yes, that is. If they give them a half-hour match, it's going to be a great match, and they're just going to tear the house down, and that's what's going to sell tickets. I mean, I love Drew, and I think Drew is amazing. I think he's amazing. I don't know what his next step is as far as his career, where he's going right now, but I would headline that with Punk and Rollins. I mean, what would you do?
Saturday, it's kind of hard for me to book. I love that idea, but it's kind of hard for me to book that far into the future, just knowing that we're gonna have a lot of fallout from the Survivor Series. So I would think that the main event of Saturday Night Main Event would probably be some kind of a rematch, or probably the solo Roman match. That if we don't get it before Survivor Series, some kind of fallout from that War Games match. I mean, we could even be looking at a Roman and Fatu match, something like that. Is what I would have probably put my money on. Big money match, but I really like the idea of Seth and Punk. That could work there too.
Well, I think that Roman and Fatu, they're going to save for big shows.
You think that's going to be a pay-per-view match?
Oh, of course. They're going to be pay-per-view matches. So there's no way that you waste this on normal TV. It's like they talked about like Goldberg versus Hogan. I think they said it was like a 9 share or something like that. Like it was the biggest thing ever seen on TV as far as wrestling goes. And like some of the best writers that I listen to and talk to, they say, why did you waste it on TV? You drew 20,000 people to Greensboro Coliseum, but you didn't get it paid for as well as you could have had it paid for. So Roman versus Jacob Fatu or Roman versus Solo Sikoa, that's money. That's money in their back pocket that they're just waiting to spend. You just have to figure out which show you're going to put it on.
True, but you could use Saturday Night Main Event as the platform for that. For say you had the Jacob and Fatu match there, we're not going to have I don't think we'd have a clear winner of the first match. So I say you have a botch finish or no DQ, a DQ finish, and then you push it to the Rumble, right? You can string it out. So you could use that as, hey, we put Roman versus Fatu on our first Saturday Night Main Event show. People are going to tune into the second one because they're going to expect something big like that. And the people will tune in regardless. So it could just be a little ratings grab for the first one. And then, unfortunately, maybe not have a clear finish. And I think you could actually extend the program from there. You could do the same thing with Seth and Punk if they wanted to, right? String it out.
You could. Do you remember like the biggest moment on Saturday Night's Main Event?
No.
Andre pinning Hogan.
Andre pinning Hogan.
Yes. Andre pinned Hogan with a BS count.
I feel like I've seen that before.
And he was awarded the championship belt for about 5 seconds, and then he gave it over to the $1 man.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. That happened on Saturday Night's Main Event. And so, look, I'm all for it. If we could do Saturday Night's Main Event like 5 times a year, I'd be happy because I don't want to oversaturate everything, especially with so many PLEs, PPVs, or whatever you want to call them. But I want to see, like, now that we're getting into good wrestlers wrestling, I'm really excited to see where we can go going forward because I think the next 3 years is going to shapeshift this whole landscape.
It is with the McMahon regime out and full throttle ahead to the future. I think you're right. But how much of a dagger at AEW Collision do you think this take? How deep does it go?
Kills it.
You think so?
I see Collision doing 100,000 views, maybe. That's hardcore people. I don't see them doing any more than that, to be honest with you. They couldn't. I mean, look at it. Collision is suffering. And this is really going to put a dagger in their chest, but it's only for one day. And maybe only 5 times a year. Or maybe only 3 times a year. But every time it's on, it's going to kill Collision. Because Collision is, after they lost Punk and they started jobbing out FTR, they did not know what to do. You have Ricky Starks off TV, so you just put in the same old clowns over and over again, and it's just sad. And it's not that I'm Mr. WWE or anti AEW. It's the fact that this is the truth that I'm speaking right now. So it just is. I don't want to see somebody kicking out of like 5 pile drivers from the top rope. I don't. Like, there's a lot of old school people that I believe in because I'm old school also. I'm damn near 50, and I have done my wrestling research when I was a kid and just followed it ever since. There's no way that the behavior of AEW would still be intact today. As you were, sir.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. Why? Because even though I'm considered a millennial, I'm an elder millennial, but I'm old school when it comes to my wrestling. One of the greatest matches, well, one of the arguable most greatable matches and feuds, rivalries, and greatest superstars of all time is between Stone Cold and The Rock. And that match happened at WrestleMania 17. And not once, I believe, did either man ever come off the top rope. Not once did we see, anybody, well, maybe some DDTs, but nobody was ever dropped on their head, and there was no sells in that match, right? You sell everything. These were some of your greatest performers ever. So these trampoline wrestlers that I get that, I get it. Just like there was that super hardcore fan base for ECW, and your super hardcore fan base for TNA and Ring of Honor, all of them. Same thing with AEW. You got your new age kids, and I mean, look who's running it. The VPs. Look at the storyline that we got. One of the greatest storylines that we've ever seen in WWE/F was the Boss Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold. They tried to, I guess, rehash it with the Tony Khan angle, and nothing ever came of it. There was no retaliation. It was nothing, and they're still running roughshod, and there was no follow up. So they do a lot. They have a lot of ideas, but there's no follow through. It's just a half-ass execution, and then that's it. But as far as I don't know how long they can survive the way they are. I guess I don't know how much money Tony Khan has, how much he's spending, how much they're making, but it is just unfathomable to me how he can have as large of a roster, as many people as he has on the payroll and running these shows and buying or renting these huge places to do the shows, and you're having 3,000 or 4,000 people tickets sold or distributed, not even sold. They're giving out tickets to their shows. I don't know how long this can go on, but Saturday night main event might be a platform, might be a safe haven for if they do a continuous show. Maybe they do it twice a month, and there could be a new safe haven place for these next wrestlers that are coming up to have a new home, as Collision was supposed to serve for AEW.
Collision should be dedicated to Ring of Honor. It should be a day for Ring of Honor, and just let Ring of Honor have all their people do that stuff that day instead of making people pay for what they call their sub-premium platform. They don't call it their sub-premium platform, but it is supposed to be their basic. Like, it's not as good as AEW. So just give Saturdays to AEW, or excuse me, Ring of Honor, and just let them show off and do what they do. Athena, she's great. I mean, Claudio Castagnoli, when he's not doing theater wrestling, he's great. You know, there's a lot of talent in Ring of Honor. So why not? That's the best thing to do. They created it for Punk. Punk is gone. So let's go with Ring of Honor. How do you feel about that?
No, I agree that could work. Because on this side of WWE, you could do the same thing with NXT, right? You could have some of the breakout stars there show up on Saturday night and introduce them to the world. Especially it's going to be on NBC, so you can you're going to reach a different audience than just this USA or just on YouTube or whatever. So it's going to reach out a lot more. So that'll definitely be interesting to see. I can't wait. December 14th. So everybody just keep a lookout, and it's coming. So let's move on here. We're actually getting a little towards the end. Since we did get together today, September 19th, as you know, I like to do a little This Day in Wrestling, brought to you by tjrwrestling.net. So
Right.
I'm going to let you know what's happened this day in wrestling, and then tell me if you remember and or what you think about it. September 19th, This Day in Wrestling. 1993, WCW presented Fall Brawl from, look at this, Houston, Texas. This was the infamous introduction. Weeks earlier, the event saw the in-ring debut of the Shockmaster as part of Sting's War Games team alongside Davey Boy Smith and Dustin Rhodes. They face Sid Vicious, rest in peace, Vader, and Harlem Heat at the time. So that was your This Day in History from 93. Moving on to 1999.
R.I.P. Vader too.
Oh, that's right, R.I.P. Vader. This one is going to be ECW Anarchy Rules. This one went down in the highest attended original ECW show in history, with over 9,000 people in attendance. And then this one saw the ECW Heavyweight Championship on the show to Mike Awesome, and a three-way dance also included Masto Tanaka, and the main event had Masato. Oh, Masato.
Masato Tanaka, yeah.
What did I say? Masato.
Masato.
The main event, RVD retained the TV championship against Balls Mahoney. 2008 Ring of Honor Driven. 2008 Driven. Took place in Boston, Mass. And this one had Kevin Steen, better known as Kevin Owens, and El Generico, also known as Sami Zayn, defeat the Age of the Fall, and they won the tag team titles in ROH in 2008. And let's see, let's move on. I'm going to skip this one. This is 2010. This one you might like this one here. Looks like Night of Champions. Daniel Bryan wins the United States Championship from The Miz.
Thank God.
Yes. So that's it. That's what's on the list. Some notable birthdays: Renee Young, Gerald Briscoe, and Eva Marie. So that's September 19th, This Day in Wrestling. And Mr. Gardner, I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on with me. It's been a blast as always. As you know, there's some changes going on your side and on my side, and things are looking brighter. So we hope that we can continue bringing you more often, and we're just going to keep on rolling, as they like to say. Want to say some goodbyes here to the listeners before we head out?
Yeah, you can always reach me at 144Captain on X. And also, we have to do our movies and our song.
Movies and song. Let me look. I'm just gonna go to my YouTube playlist because I subscribe to YouTube Premium. I highly recommend it. I use it because my boys use it, and skip all the ads. I got all the music videos and shows and this and that and the other. I can watch all my AW highlights and my wrestling highlights and all my full length matches as well. So I like YouTube Premium. I'm just gonna go back into my feed here. Right now it's a bunch of, I fell down a rabbit hole right now. I'm watching a bunch of cops get busted for being bad cops. So I felt, I've been falling down a rabbit hole really. First Amendment auditors and stuff. Why don't you go ahead real quick and let me check this out.
So we're going into Halloween season. We're not even into September yet, but I start early because there's so many scary movies that I love to watch. So we're going to go with today probably 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the song is going to be KMFDM, my favorite band. And it's all good. So
that's your two?
Yes, those are my two.
I recently saw Beetlejuice Part 2.
Okay.
I remember watching Beetlejuice as a kid, and my girlfriend, Miss Kimmy, Miss Rocket T, she loves it. Like, she just loves it so much. Number 2, it was good. It's if you like the first one, you definitely like the second one. I wasn't like over the moon about it, but we did see it on opening night, so I would be my movie, especially because we're in. And almost, and we start early here too. Well, I'm in the middle of moving, so usually I decorate September 1st, and I have Halloween stuff out for a full 2 months, and then we break it down and pull up the holiday stuff. And my song is not really going to be a song, so I don't know do you listen to any kind of sounds when you sleep? Any kind of waves or rains?
Sometimes, yeah.
Have you ever heard of green noise?
I think I understand what you're talking about. The sound of rain and everything else, like nature in the background.
Yeah, green noise, black screen. It's relaxing to fall asleep fast. So this one, it's like there's even like a heavy bass version. It's just a light rumble. It's very soothing. So if you ever it's also good for meditating, or if you're just thinking. Like, it does help fall asleep. It does help calm the brain. It's good to listen to it when there aren't any other surrounding sounds. So it's not going to really work if you live next to, subway or something like that. But it's definitely good. Even if you're out like at the park in nature, you can hear it. Sometimes I play it just when I'm here thinking at home. So I would recommend listening to green noise.
Well, that reminds me of the Blues Brothers. How often does the train go by? So often you won't notice it. And then they get the building blowed up, and they all fall on the ground in bricks, and they all leave and everything else. So that's a shout out to Willie Hall, who I know, who was the drummer of the Blues Brothers.
Sweet. All right, Gardner. Well, I'm going to head out. And
all right.
Again, it was a pleasure. And listeners, just listen. That's it. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one, and see you later.
It's going to be more content.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.